Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review the new comedy, Buddy Games Spring Awakening, and this is a sequel to Buddy Games, written, directed, and starring Josh Duhamel. And this time, one of their own has passed away, Dax Shepard, and we have the crew of Josh Duhamel, Kevin Dillon, and Nick Swardson and Dan Bacadal, who all come together and try to... They steal the ashes of their dead friend from his funeral away from his brother, played by Jensen Ackles, and they try to go on the run and try to spread these ashes down at like the beach and stuff like that, where they used to go and have all their fun, and they get into all kinds of absurd hijinks. Now, what's odd enough is I feel like the most focused laughs and funniest setup is the funeral at the beginning of the film. I feel like a lot of the actors get some fun moments with each other, and it's an interesting dynamic, especially with Jensen Ackles playing it a lot more straight and being frustrated that these idiots, his brother's friends, seem to be trying to hijack this wedding. And then they go off, and, the buddy games probably last 5 minutes of the runtime, which I think is really odd for a movie called Buddy Games Spring Awakenings. They spend more time high and trying to use psychedelic colors and all kinds of weird effects to try to replicate the feeling that these characters must be having on drugs. And then are being abducted by cults and winding up in brothels and all kinds of crazy, absurd, over-the-top things, and all leading up to a pseudo-emotional ending that drops off some, trying to be that's a big reveal, and adding some emotional layers to the story that just don't feel earned. This whole film is so stupid and absurd and ridiculous that any sense of them trying to get more serious with some emotion just doesn't feel right, doesn't fit, doesn't deliver. But this film is definitely a perfect example of a film trying too hard. It's trying too hard with the physical gags, it's trying too hard with the raunchy comedy, it's trying too hard to be going after... they make jokes at the expense of people talking about gender identification. They make jokes about stuff like that. And it's really low-hanging fruit of hey, we're sick of this woke stuff and let's make some jokes about it because we're a bunch of middle-aged white men. And that's what this film feels like. And it doesn't feel clever. It doesn't feel interesting. It doesn't feel like anybody thought for more than 2 seconds about any of the jokes in this movie. It is a runaway, crazy, absurd, over-the-top, just stupid comedy that really doesn't add any layers. It doesn't really deliver as many laughs as it certainly thinks that it's going to. And yes, there's some charismatic actors here. I think Josh Duhamel is a fun time, and I think he's a good presence to lead this group, but none of these characters are likable. None of them happen to do anything that seems very interesting or engaging, and in the end, it's just this crazy thrill ride that's just so dumb and mostly unfunny that it just doesn't deliver what it's trying to do, and that's probably the biggest sin it can make. But those are my thoughts on Buddy Games Spring Awakening. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.